What's up, guys? I have yet another book talk for today in another new location, my fancy dining room. And today we're going to talk about another book that I've kind of more recently read that's available as an audiobook on Hoopla, and it's called Divergent. I bet you've heard of it. So without further ado, I'm going to jump to the summary and then, of course, talk about why I like the book and maybe a couple things that I didn't like about this book. Overall, it was a good experience, but I was kind of a hard sell on the Divergent series at first. In Beatrice Pryor's dystopian Chicago, society is divided into 5 factions, each dedicated to the cultivation of a particular virtue: candor, the honest; abnegation, the selfless; dauntless, the brave; amity, the peaceful; and erudite, the intelligent. On an appointed day of every year, all 16-year-olds must select the faction to which they will devote the rest of their lives. For Beatrice, the decision is between staying with her family and being who she really is. She can't have both. So she makes a choice that surprises everyone, including herself. During the highly competitive initiation that follows, Beatrice renames herself Triss and struggles to determine who her friends really are and where exactly a romance with a sometimes fascinating, sometimes infuriating boy fits into the life she's chosen. But Triss also has a secret, one she's kept hidden from everyone because she's been warned it can mean death. And as she discovers a growing conflict that threatens to unravel her seemingly perfect society, she also learns that her secret might help her save the ones she loves, or it might destroy her. So this book was kind of a big deal for quite a while. When the movie came out, it sold millions and millions of copies, and it took me a while to really get into this book. I tried reading it 2 or 3 times before I thought about using it for a class assignment, and I was like, well, if I'm going to use it in class, I gotta read it. And after I made it through those first 50 pages, it picked up really fast. And the first thing that I really liked about Divergent was that it didn't feel like just another dystopian novel. As a 7th grade teacher, I've read a gajillion young adult dystopian novels, and I did like how the setup of this dystopia was different than others. I liked how there was a caste system. I liked how it was very specific how you got into these different sort of castes. And I liked how, because the characters are divided by personality, they show those personalities based off of whatever place they've been placed. Like the people in Candor are too honest. They're honest to a fault. The people in Dauntless are too brave. They're so brave that sometimes it's reckless. And it's interesting to see how different characters' personalities play off of each other. I also really liked Triss's character. She's very bold. Even though she doesn't always think she's very bold, she makes a lot of hasty decisions, but they kind of start to define who she is, especially as she emerges as this force within her newly selected faction of Dauntless. She spends a lot of time trying to get to know the other characters, and she spends a lot of time too kind of reflecting on who she is as a person. And just like in all of the other books I've reviewed, there is sort of this big central overarching conflict, but Triss also deals with a lot of conflicts that everyday people deal with. She deals with the conflict of having a crush on somebody. She deals with the conflict of growing apart from her family. And even though we don't currently live in a dystopia, we still do deal with some of those real struggles that Triss deals with. And it's interesting, since it's a first-person narration in this book, that we get to see her thought process and experience how she's feeling in her point of view. This book, which is mainly just a downside for me because I struggle with this, is it is long. It is a very long book. But even though it is long, it's very action-packed. The action moves quickly. Some of the chapters are 1 or 2 pages long, and then some of them are quite long, but the action runs throughout the book and it makes it feel very cinematic. It feels like a movie, like you're reading a movie. So even though the book was quite long, which I know can be something that keeps some readers away, myself included sometimes, it does pack it with enough action that it doesn't feel like it's a 400-page book. Just like the other books I've tried to review this week, this book is also available on Hoopla through your local library card. It is in there. You just go and you can search Divergent, and it comes up along with a lot of other Veronica Roth books. So Divergent is there. If you happen to finish it, you could also listen to the sequel, which is Insurgent, and then the third book in the trilogy, Allegiant, is also there as well, along with several other books, including the prequel. Thanks so much.